Hi, this is Dan from Paracord. Today I'm going to show you how to make a snake knot survival bracelet. I got two that I've made here. It's just a different way to have some paracord on you at all times. Just different from the standard cobra weave. So I'm going to go through the steps on how to make one of these. I have two colors here. I got some contrasting colors so you can see it real well. I have a 5/8 inch side release buckle and all my tools ready to go, so stand by and we'll get going. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is melt these two colors together. You need about 6 feet per color, so 12 feet total. Now this melted spot here will be hidden, so you don't need to make it look real pretty, but there's our two pieces together, and then you're going to weave this through your side release buckle. Okay, so I have the female end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this over just a little bit. This will ensure that this melted piece is hidden. Okay, and I usually, on the female end, I usually go from the top, loop it through, alright, now I'll pull it through, get it good and tight. Okay, and then this, the melted end, is down just about 1.5 inches or so, and that should be good. And now I run down, making sure that I keep these straight, so when I put the other end on there it's not twisted. And then it might be a good idea to melt those off. It's a little bit easier to tuck in here, but I'll get it through. Alright. Now you run it through. Okay. So you have your two pieces here. Make sure you have them facing the right direction. Alright, and then this is where you make how long you want it. Measure to your wrist or whoever's wrist you're making it for. I have my little measurements over here to the side, pre-made. Okay, so there's the length I want. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pick one side to start with. Okay, I always start with the left side. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring this side over everything and then under everything. Okay, so it's going to look just like that. Over everything, under everything. Then you're going to take your other side and you're going to go under everything, back over, and through this little hole right here. And pull it through. Okay, and then you're going to tighten everything down. Now, one thing you want to make sure you don't do is you don't make your bracelet any longer or shorter by pulling on this and making it so after you do your first couple of knots you might want to check the length. Okay, so there's your first knot, and you want to pull these all fairly tight. Okay, that's the first knot. So again, start with the left side, if that's the side you start with. Go over everything and under everything. So there's your loop, and then this one goes under everything, back over top, and through that little hole. And then pull it through. And now you need to pull everything nice and tight. And then push it up. Pulling everything tight is very important. And you want to try and get them the same tightness all the way through, or you'll have different bulges and things. Okay, over top of everything, under everything. Now your right side comes around and loops through. Now one thing I like about this one is you don't really have to have tension on it or tie it down to anything, and so you can sit on the couch, watch some football, and make yourself a snake knot bracelet. Okay, so there's 3 knots, and throughout the whole time you can form it, make sure you're not going sideways or anything, and you know, I got a little ways to go here, and then as you can see, it'll cover up the melted in, so you'll never see it. Alright, one more. Over everything, under everything. Bring this around and loop it through. Pull it tight. Okay, now I'll continue to make this off camera, and when we get down to the finishing process, I'll bring it back up. Okay, we're down here at the end. I'm just going to do a couple more knots, but what you want to do is you want to try and get it as tight as possible to that knot on the end, just so everything stays nice and tight. Alright, and push up all this so you can fit as many loops in there as possible. So remember, we're going to go over everything, under everything, and then we're going to loop around with this guy and then tie it off. Alright, and that should be the last one. Make it nice and tight. And then what you want to do is you kind of want to position it to where you have kind of 50-50 on each side. You can twist it around. Alright. Then pretty much what all I do is I try and get in here pretty deep, cut this off, and then I get my butane lighter that hasn't been working real well, but it has a pretty pinpoint flame on it, so that I can make sure I'm melting just what I want to melt, and then you can flatten it out. Okay, now the same thing with this one on the back side. Cut it pretty close. Try and move your plastic parts out of the way, you don't want to melt them. See what I mean about my lighter here? So if any of you guys know of a good lighter like this, let me know. Then you can push it down. Whew. And there you go. Ooh, that's hot. Alright. So there, it's done. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped. And you clip it together just like that. And now you have a snake knot survival bracelet.